So if you haven't seen the disgustingly drawn and animated first part of the video, you can go watch it if you want. It's the first animation I made on my channel. It was like 9 months ago, but watch it right now if you haven't, because it's almost at 1K views. So yeah. Okay, so after getting my first ever detention of my whole life, I had it for 2 hours out of school, and I already knew this was going to be the most boring thing I've ever done in my whole life. And like while I was sitting there in the counselor's office with 7 other kids who were also doing the detention, I could feel the literal boredom energy seeping into my brain. Like I generally do not know how I was going to get through those 2 hours in a room that I didn't want to be in, number one. And number two, what was I going to do in there in the first place? Like I already knew they were definitely taking our phones away. That was obvious, but I would soon find out. So after waiting in the counselor's office for like 10 minutes while the other children got to go home and play Fortnite, so some random teacher literally spawned in and told us to follow her to the classroom. We'd be spending the next 2 hours of our lives that we would never be getting back. So very slowly, we all got up and followed her to the room, and I looked around and found a seat in the front corner of the room, and I sat down. And after everyone else was seated, the teacher that walked us down there said our DL teacher, which is the teacher that was assigned to watch us for the next 4 hours, because depending on what you did, each kid had a different amount of time to serve. So some kids have 1 hour and some kids have 4, which I couldn't even imagine sitting there for 4 hours, like rip. So after like 5 minutes, everyone's sitting and the kids who knew each other talking, and the teacher came in. And let's name her Miss Mad. Now you'll see soon while I'm giving her this name, but she came in and got quickly to the point. I'm going to need everyone's phone in the basket before we get started today. So we all got up and put our phones up and sat back down. And I was already bored. It's been like a whole 9 minutes maybe at this point, like since I walked into the room. So Miss Mad started to explain what we would be doing during our time in this prison. So she pulled out a stack of papers, and basically we had to fill out 3 pages of like school code stuff, like explaining what rule and exactly we broke to be here and why we broke it. And then that we're never going to do it again, you feel me? And I already felt like I didn't deserve to be there in the first place because I was just defending myself, but at least I wasn't where the dude I fought was. So after Miss Mad explained in great detail, I'm talking college lecture detail, she handed out the papers, and bro, when I looked down at these things, I was already so done. Like it was basically, okay, write a 17-page essay on how you were wrong, how you're a bad kid, how this might be used against you in the future. And I decided right then and there, I was just gonna write the slowest I've ever wrote in my whole life, just to waste as much time as possible because I couldn't draw on this thing, because we had to turn it in when our time was up. So I got started by staring at the first sentence for about 10 minutes, and I let my thoughts carry me through the whole boredom, and then almost giving me a heart attack like a FNAF jump scare, some random girl walked into the room. And let's name her Emily. So Emily walks into the room for D-Hall, not only almost 20 minutes late, but wanting all the smoke, because Miss Mad quickly asked her to put her phone in the basket and grab the papers and sit down so she can get started. And Emily just blankly stared at Miss Mad for about 30 seconds and then went, "No, I'm okay." And then she sat down in the front of the room, went on her phone like nothing just happened. And at this point, everyone in the room, including me, was staring at Emily, and then after a quick glance at Miss Mad, she was literally shaking with anger, like she had to charge up for the verbal onslaught she had for Emily. So getting straight to the point, Miss Mad went, "Young lady, you will not talk to me in that tone. You'll be putting your phone up right now. I'll be forced to call the main office and your parents. Your deal time will be extended." Then Emily went, "And what if I don't?" Now some kid in the back of the class thought this was the funniest thing he's ever heard. And yeah, I was holding back a grin, but this kid started dying laughing. He was quickly cut off by Miss Mad, literally telling him, and I'm not joking because I remember stuff like this easy. She went, "Shut the hell up!" And now I'm sitting here, holding back my laughter the best I can. Like I'm clenching cheeks, I'm using all my power, I'm finna go Kaioken. And while Miss Mad was death glaring this kid, Emily, with no hesitation, said, "How about you shut the hell up?" And that caught me off guard more than Miss Mad saying it. But not even seconds after Emily said that to Miss Mad, she walked over to the phone, dialed a number, and went outside the classroom. Now we were all just sitting there in the room, dead silent. And I mean dead silent, like just staring and blinking at each other in this very interesting situation that was unfolding.